Welcome back to the AM Weekend Show. Right now, we're going to be looking at all that is going on the front pages of our national dailies, and we have just been joined by our able barrister Chidi Ujoatumba. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Happy weekend.
And you look great.
Really?
Yes, you do.
Coming from you, I will take it home.
Oh, see, I'm a quality person.
I'm happy for you.
Did you hear the way the compliments went and how he accepted it? It means that I say the
learn
truth.
it. So you have to
Unlike
learn
you.
it. When someone genuinely compliments you, take
No,
it.
the point is,
You see how he
the
took
point
your
is,
compliment.
he was able
Take
to
it
sense
in.
that I'm genuine.
Oh my God.
Unlike you, but let's.
What if your sense of
Let's focus.
whatever is corrupt?
He can't be corrupt. He will sense it. All right, so we're going to be looking at the papers. We'll begin with Liberty, and the boldest headline we have here says APC chairman Ganduje resigns. Dalori appointed acting chairman. FG appoints Barrister Ahmed new PCNGI boss. Also on this paper, SDP state chairman back national chair Gaban's suspension. Finally on this paper, Tinubu broadcast peace between Fubara, Wike.
Now, moving straight to Saturday Times, why Ganduje resigned as APC national chairman. This is the boldest headline, and you can find it in page 14. Thames becomes co-owner of San Diego FC in groundbreaking MLS deal. Also on this paper, we have Ribadu reads Riot Act to electoral offenders. Speed Darlington wanted by NAPTIP over rape, online harassment. And that's the much we can take from this paper.
All right, moving on to Saturday Tribune. Boldest headline here says, Shetima's fate unsure as Ganduje loses out in APC power play. Dalori from Borno to act as national chairman. Tinubu embarks on 2-nation tour to St. Lucia in Brazil. You find that on page 4. Yahaya Bello seeks court leave to travel abroad. Afeni Pandef, SMBLF, mourn ex-Kwara governor Adebayo's transition. And that is the much we can take on Saturday Tribune.
And straight to Saturday Punch, boldest headline says, Wike Fubara feud. Governor supporters clash over peace deal. Riders say it surrendered, not reconciliation. This is by ex-commissioner. Another rider says, solution climax of Tinubu's effort, says ex-reps member. Deadly jealousy. Blood bruises as ladies fight dirty over men. 14 Chinese face deportation for aiding terrorism in Nigeria. Interesting. You can find this on page 14. Ogun final year student commits suicide after suspension for exam apparatus. We also have on this paper, why APC national chairman Ganduje resigned. That's the much we can take.
All right, moving on to Saturday Independent. Neurologists seek risk factors of stroke as cases surge in Nigeria amid rising cost of drugs. Reverend Chris Christian says, I was burned to live without a family. You find that on page 19. Also on this paper, as a woman, nothing should limit your dreams, says Taba Peterside. Ganduje resigns as APC national chairman as Dalori emerges in acting capacity. Finally, on this paper, reps begin inquiry into effective safety of CNG program. That's what we have on Saturday Independent.
And from First News, we have Nigeria loses $1.1 billion yearly to medical tourism. This is by Afrexim Bank. Also on this paper, we have Nigeria now 12th poorest country by GDP per capita. This is by IMF. Kenyan court declares Nnamdi Kanu's abduction illegal. IPOB hails ruling. We'll also have on this paper, FDI nosedives. Nigeria loses 19% investment in Q1 2025. This is credited to CBN, and that's the much we can take from this paper.
Moving on to the Matrix, the boldest headline here says, Ganduje, Tinubu directs Dalori to step in as AG chairman. APC to convene emergency NEC meeting to appoint successor. Activist charges EFCC to resume cases against Ganduje immediately. Tinubu to visit St. Lucia, Brazil for diplomatic BRICS engagement. Nylon producers appeal to Lagos Assembly speakers to halt July ban on single-use plastics. Student alumni reject Makinde's renaming of Polytechnic Ibadan. And also on this paper, we have a headline that says, NAPTIP declares Speed Darlington wanted over alleged rape and cyber crimes. That's what we have on the Matrix.
And from Weekend Trust, how Ganduje was forced to resign. Desperation, low purchasing power. Nigeria turned to expired goods. You can find this on page 7. Kenyan court affirms Kanu's rights violation, awards 10 million shilling damage. Page 36. And poverty, insecurity threaten 2027 election, reports say, and this is on page 10. And that's the much we can take. Okay, let's take this last one. Conditions set for Fubara's return as Tinubu brokers trace. This is on page 6, and that's the much we can take from the paper.
All right, one more time. You're welcome to the show, Barrister Chidi.
Thanks. There's a lot.
There's a lot, but I'm not sure we'll be able to do a lot. But let's begin with this one. This because I think it's very important to Ndibo.
Okay.
And we are talking about Nnamdi Kanu's case, the fact that Kenya court declares Nnamdi Kanu's abduction illegal, IPOB hails ruling. Now, I'd like you to tell us, as a barrister, exactly what that means to Nnamdi Kanu and to us, and of course to IPOB.
Okay, it's not a new thing. There's a court in Nigeria that has also declared that abduction from Kenya to Nigeria illegal. So it's not, I don't think it's the first time. But I think that the court that did it in Kenya is a higher court. It will be used, Nnamdi Kanu is about to open his defense, I think, somewhere in the middle of June. So it will be used to, buttress his case. Because if he's, the way they brought him into this country, if it is legally, if it had been declared illegal, every other thing that you're doing to him, all the court activities and everything, all of them goes to no issue. Because you have to, first of all, make that very one right. You understand? So that will help him in his case, because he can apply for the satisfactory copy of the judgment and see exactly that they were breaking a whole lot of international law, as at the time they were, arresting him in Kenya and bringing him back to Nigeria. It was totally false. And I know that judgment there in Kenya will help to buttress the case he is facing, the terrorism case he's facing now in Nigeria. Yeah.
So you're saying that he's going to open defense by when?
He's opening defense, I think, on the 18th of, he's opening defense he's filing a no case submission. Yes. He is filing a no-case submission, and I think that will be taken on the 18th of July. He's filing a no-case submission. If the court upholds the no-case submission that Mr. Nnamdi Kanu has no case to answer, automatically he will be discharged and acquitted, even though the government has the right of appealing against that judgment. You understand? But if the court says the no-case submission does not stand, come in and defend yourself, okay? He would definitely bring all this evidence I'm talking about as a way of putting his own defense across, because the prosecution has concluded and has closed his case. So it's left for Nnamdi Kanu now to open his defense. And in opening his defense, he wants to enter a no-case submission. I've talked it about here. It's a situation whereby you are saying that the prosecution have not linked anything on me. So that I'm not opening anything. You cannot put something on top of nothing and expect it to stand. So what Mr. Nnamdi Kanu is saying, that I'm entering a no-case submission. All the witnesses called, all the documents called, none of them could be directly linked to me. So I am untouchable. The prosecution have in his own legal opinion, the prosecution have done nothing. So he's entering a no-case submission. The court will now rule on that no-case submission, and now, whether it's positive, he will be discharged and acquitted. But if the court rules against the no-case submission, sometimes the judge might say, okay, no-case submission, do your defense, let me rule both the no-case submission and the final judgment, let me take ruling on them at the same time. Some do it like that, but I pray that in this instance, they will go ahead and rule on that no-case submission, because the substance of the no-case submission will also enable him to know how to package and then present his defense.
This thing,
July, yeah.
The whole thing just got me thinking. I'm wondering, since we're now, it looks like we're certain that July is when we're going to get the last of this. Does it seem so?
No, it doesn't seem certain, or rather.
You're saying that he might be acquitted if
the no-case submission is taken and then the parties adopt their processes, the judge will rule on the no-case submission. If it is positive, like I initially said, what no-case submission means, I personally have done a no case submission before.
Okay.
And on that same day, the accused from the court straight back, he left the court and went straight to his house. You understand? Because he has already been on bail. But this one, Nnamdi Kanu have not been on bail. You understand? He has been under DSS incarceration, but he has not been granted bail. If he has been granted bail, probably he has been coming from his house to attend this trial. If the no case submission favors him, from there he walks home, and he walks home forever and ever. You will never bring that case against him, except if you want to go on appeal on the no case submission. Because one thing with criminal cases is that once it has been tried, and the trial has been exhaustive and judgment has been given on that trial and you have been discharged and you have been acquitted, nobody will ever bring terrorism or terrorist charge against him in respect to that particular matter anymore. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's move down to south part of Nigeria, where we have seen a peace talk between Wike, Fubara and the president. Do you think there is any hope of restoring the government of the River State from this conversation?
By when you look at Fubara's body language and everything, you know that he has been muzzled down to the barest minimum of thing that he can accept in order for peace to reign, and also for him not to be a troublesome governor who never finished 4 years. So left to me, being there and then networking on how to come back to power again is very much important than any other thing. This settlement have made Nigerians truly believe that the whole declaration of state of emergency is for political motivation. Because look at a place like Benue, where 200 people were killed. Mr. President had a way of, mustering support and calling the communities and all the traditional rulers together to ensure that what he calls farmer-herder clash does not continue. You understand? Meanwhile, these were murdered in cold blood. These were terrorists. The real terrorists murdered people in cold blood. And we are calling it farmer-herder clash. But where there is peace, where peace is reigning, simply because of 2027, they want to, cage River State because of its importance in winning 2027. That's why everything that's happening in River State is happening. And because of the role that Nyesom Wike is playing in APC administration, if you read deep into that report, they are telling him that he's not coming back in 2027, that he's serving only one term, and then Wike will go ahead. Wike will appoint 23 local government leaders of this. So that's a total giveaway, because at that time you will not be able to do anything. If you don't have the local government, how will you be able to win the election? And if Wike has the local government, which means he can even promise Mr. President that he will assure him 2027. Yes, that he will assure him the vote of River State people in 2027, even though it's a PDP state. Have you seen the political shenanigan that is going on in that state right now? So Wike is the one who's going to appoint the 23 local government chairmen. You understand? And Fubara, tentatively, allegedly, is agreeing to only this one term, which will end in 2027. So in 2027, they will pick another person who will, just like Mr. President did in Lagos State. You understand? The other time he brought in Ambode, Abi, and then he left, and then he brought in Sanwo-Olu. Just like one tenor. If you're not dancing to my tune, this is where politics have gotten to in Nigeria. Godfatherism is killing politics. I pray that the people of River State will open their eyes and see that Wike is putting them in. There's a difference between purse and pocket. You understand? Wike is putting them in a pocket. Your vote will never count anymore. They will write it in government house and present to the federal what they want and present to the state what they want. So Wike wants to turn River State like what Tinubu did to Lagos State. That's exactly where he's going to. That's why he fought to the point of declaring his own state of emergency, only to clinch power. Look, let me tell you, they have compressed, suppressed, and they have battered Fubara to a standstill. He cannot do any other thing now. He cannot do any other thing. Because if Mr. President can extend the state of emergency and ask you to go to court, at the end of the day, you will not do anything. This is a slap in the face of democracy. I criticize it with every atom of strength in my vein, because this is how democracy will just die. You understand? Godfatherism. You've left office, but you still want to have a hand in that office, controlling the resources of the office, controlling politics in the office, controlling almost everything in that state. Let's see how it goes.
So you talked about,
let's see how it goes. Yeah.
You talked about the people of Rivers State, and I'm just curious, what could they possibly do about this?
If he said he will be the one to appoint the whether through election or whether through appointment or selection or whatever, if Wike is like the paper said, if Wike is saying I will be the one in charge, that's power. That's power. Because those local government chairman, they will be the one who will decide who will be the government, who will be the governor of that state come 2027. That's power for you. You can't do any other thing. Even if members of, what is the members of the house, their own power now have been, their wings have been clipped. If peace is going to reign between Wike and Fubara, the members of the house, they'll just sit there and collect their salary and leave. They will just become a rubber stamp members of the house. They will never do anything because they are not even going to be instrumental in returning a Fubara back to power. The most important people are the local government chairman. They are the ones that matters. And if they are in Wike's hand, automatically they are in APC's hand. Because in 2027, that's where the election, grassroots is where the election occurs. It's not just in government house. Yeah.
Why would it be in Wike's hands? I'm perturbed.
That's politics for you.
I'm disturbed.
That's what he got out of the state of emergency. That's politics for you.
I saw
remember that election has already been conducted and, yes, election has been conducted after, I think, was it after the Supreme, no, that was before the Supreme Court judgment in Rivers State. Election week, after the Supreme Court gave a verdict that local government money will now be paid into the local government coffers. You remember? Yeah. Now, before the one telling Fubara to go and redo the election. After that one, Fubara conducted an election whereby he used another political party which swept all the 23 local government in Rivers State. Now, they will do another election or selection of only to put those people in the hands of Wike. I say it again, this is power. And this is the blueprint of 2027. Looking at you in your eyes. Exactly. And there's nothing you can do about it. Everything happening in Rivers State right now is pointing to 2027. Yes, everything.
Because, we say we should take back our country, we should do that, we should do this. But it just seems
Look at what happened in Kenya. Did you see what happened in Kenya 3 days ago?
3 days ago.
I'm not calling for that kind of a thing, but this country is nearing what happened in Kenya just last week. This kind of youth uproar is like a revolution. They wanted to tear the entire nation down. Because these old corrupt politicians, they are never tired of stealing money. They don't want to fight corruption and they don't want to make the necessary amendments in the constitution that will make Nigeria to stand. They don't want to do that. They all want to clinch power, stay in power, eat power, drink power, toss it between north and south, toss it between all their cronies, and at the end of the day, the nation will bleed. Look at our educational sector. Look at power. Look at healthcare.
Paper said from Afrexim Bank is saying that we lose $1.1 billion.
Yes.
In medical tourism. Because
if you take that back to 1963, 1963, Indians, Pakistanis, people from United Kingdom, they were coming to Nigeria for medical attention. Our doctors used to be the best. What happened to that development? What happened to that system? Corruption, democracy. Once they bring this democracy, leadership of the people, they will just murder you. They will kill you there. You won't even know. Because once you are shouting democracy, they will buy the judiciary, they will buy the INEC and everything. You will be shouting democracy until you die. Nothing will come out of it at the end of the day. That's where we are.
And it just makes us helpless.
It's it's a very desperate situation. I pray that there is, going into the resignation of Gandhi. Yes, I pray that what is happening in APC now will really upset the apple cart, such a way that probably there will be a crack in this their, think tank and this their the campaign and, everybody thinks now that APC has, really mustered the amount of power that it needs to go into 2020. I disagree with them. I totally disagree. There's rumor that Shetima will be dropped. That's going to be a problem for APC because I wonder how they will be able to get Northeast if they don't want to rig it again. I wonder how they'll be able to get the massive votes that Northeast gave them the other time, because that was as a result of the fact that Shetima is from the Northeast. Now, he's going to bring in, he wants to use this guy, Kwankwaso. Kwankwaso will soon, there's a rumor, okay? I heard from the grapevine that Kwankwaso will soon join APC. That he feels that Kwankwaso has more voting credibility and power than Shetima. Let's see how that goes. Kwankwaso is from the north west. Okay, so let's really see how that goes. Ganduje has resigned. So I don't know if they don't really if what I am envisaging, the way this politics is going, if it continues, I don't see the reason why APC will return in power come 2027 if they don't have any plan of massive rigging. If they will allow the votes to count. That's what I'm saying. Vote El Rufai, P2B, Atiku, and their cohorts. They should pressure on electoral reform. They should pressure on electoral reform.
Right.
If not electoral reform, everything they're doing will come to nothing in 2027.
Talking about the oppositions, I think last week, we read that paper that they were moving for a new party.
Yes, ADA.
Please, I'd really like to hear your opinion on this, because we were talking, and me, I had my own opinion had been one thing. I said, if it's the same people, we're not moving anywhere. So long as it's the same group of people, but I don't know if I'm missing something, so I want to know your opinion.
No, there's hope. There's a sort of yes, the same people. What
exactly would having a new party do to help us?
Okay, it's somehow not all that easy to use an existing registered political party. It's not easy because already they have their own manifesto. Already they have people who have sponsored its registration. And as I'm talking to you now, they are accusing APC and Mr. President for trying to run a one-party system. So even this Labour Party, they have a hand in what is happening in Labour Party. So allegedly, okay, they have a hand in what's happening in PDP. True weekend. So they have a hand in so many other major political parties that you can use now, because the coalition must be distilled into a political party at the end of the day. There is nothing like coalition. They can't go into election with coalition of Nigerian politicians. No, it's not a political party. The electoral law say you must belong to a political party before you conduct any election or before you vie for any position. So all these their coalition activities must be narrowed down to an existing registered political party. And if they do a new one, putting into consideration the political atmosphere in Nigeria, if they do a new one, they will stand in a better position to appoint who will be their leaders, so that there will not be people who have already been compromised by APC or Tinubu. So they want to set up ADA, appoint who will be there. You know the importance of a party chairman. You know the importance of party delegates. You know the importance of where someone comes from when election comes. So all these things are very, 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 very important. So I think they're on the right path. Because if you watch what happened in 2015, okay, when there was such coalition, Atiku was one of them. That was when APC was formed. You understand? That was when they went to Jega and formed the APC. That was when they formed APC. There was no existing party. Then I think they had the one in the south and in the west. They merged them together to form APC. So a new party is very, very paramount here for them to be able to achieve their political aspirations. Yeah.
Okay. I think we'll just wrap up with this question that is troubling me. I don't know. I just want, well, I'm not trying to set you up or something, but what would your prediction be concerning Nnamdi Kanu's case? What would you predict? What do you foresee?
There light at the end of the tunnel.
What do you foresee by that July?
No, by every political and legal measurement, okay, if he will come out victoriously in his case. I followed the case. I've studied most of the things that the state tendered as their evidence. You understand? It doesn't hold waters. If the law will be interpreted in the eyes of fairness, the case will be in favor of Nnamdi Kanu. See, he will come out. But the only delay is that if they go on appeal and also decide to keep him in incarceration while appealing against the judgment of the Federal High Court. That's just the problem I'm going to have, because he needs his freedom. He needs his freedom. He needs his freedom. The Igbo people need his freedom. The current political atmosphere in Nigeria now needs his freedom. You understand? So he should be set free. He should be safe under normal circumstances. He should be attending to this trial from his house or anywhere he is. He can come in and attend this trial. But they have not respected his fundamental human right, and they have abridged it to a very, high degree, to the extent that I know it's not just legal, it's highly political. Nnamdi Kanu's case is highly political. So I pray that if the case goes on the way it has commenced, you can see the way the current judge have expedited actions and things are moving. They were like taking adjournment like every three weeks, every two weeks when the trial was going on. Yeah. And as Nnamdi Kanu is about to open his defense, I believe that he will also maintain that tempo so that before August, the verdict will be given and everybody will know his fate. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Barrister Chidi. This was power packed.
Amazing.
Thank you. That was Barrister Chidi Ujoatumba, a human rights lawyer and the CEO of Ujoatumba and Company. Up next on the AM Weekend Show is our fitness segment. I and Ogochukwu visited the gym and with Coach Peter, just brace up, but most importantly, take your position so you can join us with our routines. We'll be right back.